Hello there, it's Matt and Matt from Walx Preston, and we're live again on the Walx Preston Facebook page. But my guest today again is Colin McLean. So, hi, Colin. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Matt. Good to see you. Yeah, my name's Colin McLean from Walx Derwent and Dales up in sunny Derbyshire, or it has been for
Yeah,
2 3 weeks.
Or down in sunny Derbyshire, down from Preston.
Yeah, to the right and down a bit.
So, you looks like you got curtains behind you. Last time we spoke, you had quite an impressive view. You were sat in your car and you were on top of a hilltop. So, where are you today?
So I'm in our back room, our garden room. I'm back home after 18 days on the road, travelling around Yorkshire. So from up in the moors and over towards Whitby, and then over into the middle of Yorkshire, around Richmond and Barnard Castle, and then ending up down in Hawes. Okay. Lots of walking almost every day. So yeah, just back home with our Rustick Festival. Some of the guys are out walking today, and I'm up doing some stuff with them tomorrow.
Tell it just. I know what Rustick is. Maybe some of the regular members who've been involved with Nordic Walking UK and Walks for several years know what Rustick is. But can you just give a little bit of a refresher or a little outline for viewers who are maybe new to this?
Certainly, yeah. It's a festival we started last year. It's a bit like Derbyshire's version of the Purbeck Festival on a slightly smaller scale. But last year we had, I think it was, Sam will know exactly, but well over 100, 150 people. We put on a whole variety of walks. It's based close to Tissington, which is just not far from Ashbourne in Derbyshire.
Okay.
So in the Peak District, some beautiful walking, lots of variety, rivers and woodlands and up on the hills and down by the River Dove, and it's really spectacular. So this year we were doing it again. Unfortunately, COVID and all the government restrictions have come in, so we've struggled a bit with hotels and people coming up to stay because they need to obviously have self-contained accommodation.
Okay. Sure.
But we're running it this weekend, started today and on again tomorrow, and there's some walks on Sunday. And you can find them on the usual sort of linked website, the variety of walks that we've got on. Tomorrow, I think there's about 4 or 5 walks going on, and from geared for all capabilities. From those that want to join me on the speed hikes, to those who are more geared for well-being walks, gentler walks, but in some beautiful countryside.
Sounds exciting. Yeah.
So it was very, very, very popular. And next year, I can sort of say we're also doing another festival, but this time over in the Lake District, joining up with Nicola.
Nikki, yeah.
Nikki. You have to remind me of her last name again.
Sprossen,
that's it. So Sam and Nikki are putting on a show next year, Lake District, another mini festival over the May bank holiday weekend.
Okay, yeah.
So it's good.
Well, that's something to look forward to already for next year.
Yeah.
Definitely. Fantastic.
I mean, the thought behind it really was Purbeck can be for some a long way to go. And why not run something in the middle of the country? And the Peak District is stunningly beautiful. And next year, thought we'll do a bit of variety and head up to the lakes. So it's appealing to Manchester, Preston, Birmingham people, and those from the south that are happy to drive and come north.
Yeah, no, that's excellent ideas. And, Purbeck's become a thing. It's really nice to go there, but like you say, it's right on the other side of the country for a lot of people. So
yeah,
Derbyshire's kind of a bit more in the middle, and the lakes is obviously a well-known beauty spot and walking destination. So I think there'll be a lot of guys from the Nordic Walking UK and Walks community excited to do that.
Yeah, very good. We copy a few things. We do workshops and we do short walks and we do longer walks, and so it's quite a variety for all people.
Smashing. So moving on to the 27 miler and the 16 miler and the challenge, which is kind of based in Purbeck at the festival in September. So the event days are the 18th of September, the Saturday, both 16 and 27. I was speaking with Rob yesterday. So Rob's the man on the ground down in Dorset. He's the route master and is saying that the route is still in development. So we weren't able to fully discuss it at this moment in time because the MOD are going to be doing some shooting or whatever they're going to be doing on their land, which the original route had gone around. So they're going to have to divert it. So we're going to wait over the next couple of weeks to actually find where that route will be replanned to. But yeah, this week we set out the 20-week training plan for the lead up to the 27 miler.
Yeah.
And the 26th of April, the Monday this week just gone, was the start of that week. So I think I put a poll in the Facebook group last week and asked if people are definitely going for the 16, definitely for the 27, or they're not so sure. So I think there was a high percentage of people were yes, I'm going to do the 16 miler only. And then very few definitely doing the 27, but quite a lot also doing the 16, thinking maybe at some point they'll change their mind. So because of all of that, I think it's important that everyone's kind of starting on the same page, as in around about this week, next week, starting to kind of get themselves moving. So you done any training yourself?
Yeah, I've done quite a bit over these last few days, I think. So I'd say we were away for 18 days. And I think I was adding up the mileage that we walked, and it was 75, 80 miles we've done over that time.
Wow.
So, and I enjoy the hills. And so I've been doing my intervals. I'm quite keen to see how you got on with your team on doing the interval sessions. Because 5 minutes at pace 3, and it certainly gets the heart rate up, and you're breathing a bit as you stomp up the hill.
Well, we started this week. The Mondays tend to be that kind of more core workout, something that we're kind of encouraging people to look on the virtual system, and there's a lot of core workouts or indoor training that Denise has done. There's a lot of different videos. Again, this next Monday coming up, it's Bank Holiday Monday, so not everyone puts on those sessions on bank holidays. So I'm encouraging people to get more familiar with the Virtual Walks platform and look at those classes and sessions, and maybe think about doing that on a Monday, or as we spoke about with Rob yesterday, not everyone's going to follow all of the 7 days, including the 5 days and the 2 rest days, on exactly the same days that we've got the program. And it's not really about that. If you can't do it exactly to the plan, that also doesn't matter. It's taking the framework of the plan into consideration, and then saying what fits for you. If you've got a particular walk on one of the rest days on the plan, you might switch one of the workout days to a rest day for yourself. So this week on the Wednesday, we had the 30-minute interval. So again, it was the 5 minutes fast and then 2 minutes slow. And we did it in the parks that's local to me, which was flat. So it wasn't hills. Yeah. It was on the
right, okay.
Because I'm really keen to kind of get everyone involved and seeing the progression, and not wanting to overface someone straight away. So
separating out, I guess, hills and drills from.
We've got
on the flat. Yeah.
The hills this evening at Avonham Park. So that's a park with some notorious sort of inclines in it. So we're going to go down there tonight. But Wednesday we did it on the flat, and just setting them off to do the 5 minutes, they really went for it. So I was really impressed that they did do it and maintained it for the 5 minutes. But when they came back to stop for the 2 minutes kind of slower walk, the cheeks were red and they were huffing and puffing a little bit. And, it is challenging to get yourself walking at pace consistently for that 5 minutes.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's important to emphasize that these first few weeks of the plan, it's not all about the focus of going fast and it's an introduction to intervals, an introduction to working on hills and drills. For me, I'm a firm believer in building a strong foundation of focusing on how they're walking, how your posture is, are the poles at the right length, getting that body used to exercising, more than once or twice during the week. So the intervals are a bit of fun, but the main thing to me is about them getting used to that steady long walk during the week. We're starting them off, I think, at an hour. But, if we're doing the 16-mile, we'll eventually be working up to 5 hours, at least 5 hours of walking. And if you're doing the 27-mile, you're up to much longer again.
Yeah.
So getting it right at the beginning, and being comfortable with gait length and stature, and, keeping the back straight and head proportionally supported by the shoulders is really, to me, key to being able to go week after week after week of training and building up. Would you agree with that, Matt? Is that you?
I absolutely agree. I'm very much keen on technique in terms of the whole notion of tension and fluidity. And it's I notice it a lot when people start to put a little bit more effort in, that they become a little bit more rigid and tense in the body. So we're trying to push to get faster, but it's like your shoulders rise, they go a little bit forward, you get arms bend a little bit, and there's a whole different way that person individually looks and moves than when they walk that little bit slower. That's more their regular essence pace on a regular walk. And so what I'm keen to kind of get across to anyone within our group, but even anyone who's watching on these sessions, is as you start to push yourself that little bit harder, whether you're going up the inclines or you're going faster on whether it's hills or on the flat, that you're maintaining that graceful posture, technique, and the ability to interact in the moment with the ground, pushing through the glove strap, pushing through the pole into the ground to propel yourself with the maximum force, but not that you've not got any specific rigidness or tightness that's unnecessary. I think that's key.
I think you're absolutely spot on. I mean, we call it, when we're running, we used to talk about running form, how you were running. And it's the same in walking as you describe. Get that basic style correct. The analogy that's in my head is, on the top of our shoulders, we're carrying this bowling ball. I don't know if you've ever tried to put your head on a set of scales, but your head weighs a hell of a lot.
It does,
now,
yeah.
You start trying to walk fast and leaning forward, and that's your position. It's putting so much weight out of proportion to your body. So you start getting shoulder pain, base of your backs hurts, your glutes are sore, everything goes out to pot. So it's much better to focus on these next few weeks on just being really comfortable and nice and upright and well supported. And as you say, getting that pole technique correct, and then speed will come. Yeah, so yeah, it's good. It's very good. Yeah.
Sure. Well, smashing. I just want to sort of move on to tonight. We'd had a comment from Jill Finn. She's one of our regular walkers. I'm sure it won't be flat tonight. Well, absolutely, Jill. We'll be on the hills, and it's 8 sets of 90-second up the hill and then back down again. So that's going to be no mean feat. That's
yeah, you need to report in next week, Matt, because 90 seconds up a hill, 9 out of 10 effort is 90 seconds a long time.
Yeah.
And are any of your walkers wearing heart rate monitors? Either the heart strap or on watches? Because that's
quite a lot of them have their own Garmin or Fitbit or Apple technology. I don't personally wear a lot of technology. I have tried stuff in the past, found what my optimums are, and then don't use that technology really. But some people really like to kind of watch and track that, and there's nothing wrong with either really. But some of them will. I'll encourage them to kind of share some of that data, so we can kind of maybe collectively look at how some of that stuff changes over time?
Yeah, I think we use it on our Saturdays. I use it on a Saturday session. We all have heart rate monitors. And when we're doing these hills and drills, up and down, up and down. And it's quite interesting. As the weeks progress, one of the things that's really, I suppose, motivational and makes you feel good is noticing how quickly your heart rate comes back down to normal. Mm-hmm. So you can be hitting it and really high heart rate. And then as you walk back down the hill and you notice, my gosh, it's dropped off 10, 20, 30, 40 beats per minute, and then start again. And it's a really great sign of fitness improving, and you getting stronger and your heart muscle developing.
Yeah. Well, like I just said, Jill, she's just put another comment. Yes, I always wear a heart rate monitor on my Garmin. So maybe Jill, I'll encourage Jill to be within our team, the one who kind of helps us understand a little bit about how her heart rate is and how that's progressing over time, to kind of just track and see and get a feel for that. One of the things I wanted to say was about that intervals, kind of pace 3 and pace 1. Quite often, the pace 3, people move into that, like I said, with a slightly stiff and tense and incorrect posture. And
yes,
that's something that you kind of need a bit of verbal tuition, and then you need a little bit of physical manipulation and tuition in terms of relaxing the mind and the body to kind of get into the flow of the movement at the increasing pace. And then the other side is the bringing it down to the pace 1 or the slower pace to kind of bring your heart rate down. And quite often it's common for people to go a little bit faster than maybe they could do or should do.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult often to kind of really, really slow it down to virtually nothing, and maintain a posture and a kind of technique with that as well.
And the other thing that, we've all got muscle memory, and sometimes changing that bad muscle memory, those bad habits take time because your muscles naturally go into that position. You lean forward when you're going faster. So you have to work at it, brain over body, to sort of get that control. But I think it's interesting, the scale, if we're saying we're trying to walk relaxed at 3 out of 10, what do we mean by 3 out of 10? And I suppose to me, I go, nothing out of 10. Well, that's me absolutely sitting on the couch, watching the telly, not moving at all, heart rate lowest of the low, and it's just ticking over. And 10 over 10 is the other end. I'm falling on the ground, heaving up. So when we say 3 out of 10, it's as you describe, a very comfortable, easygoing pace, where we're talking naturally, we're breathing very easily, and then it's learning how that movement from 3 up to 9, when you start stopping talking and you're breathing a bit faster and your heart rate's going up. But I just wanted to say on the heart rate, one of the things we used to pick up on, the rule of thumb was your maximum heart rate was 220 less your age. Mm-hmm. So if you're 50, then that would be 170. See, I can even do the maths.
Yeah.
But interestingly, everyone's hearts are different. So mine, for example, I'm with another chap who's about the same age. We're hitting 175 to 178 going up the hill. But down at the other end, we're at 49, 50. Mm-hmm. So 178, so like 22, 42, we're like a 42-year-old. Well, we're not 42. But that's just our physiology is that way. But it'll be interesting, I think, for people to share what was your heart rate, when you were up at the top of the hill, and then what were you down at the bottom again, and not to get perturbed if they're significantly higher than somebody else. It doesn't mean that they've got a problem. It's just their physiology is different too.
Yeah, I find that a lot. People look at even the step counters or the general kind of trackers in your phone and things, and there's an algorithm behind working out how many calories you burn, and quite often it's just an equation, and quite often the heart rate, you do that mental arithmetic. Well, my age is 40, 50, 60, and take that off to 220, and then I've just gone up this hill, and bloody hell, it's 200. And probably the heart's going to explode. You've got to kind of be a little bit aware and careful not to kind of freak yourself out that it might be over what's the recommended according to the calculation, and what's your real feeling in the moment there. And then maybe monitoring and tracking that over time. And maybe as you improve your fitness over time and your heart health through that process of training, it will go up, but it won't on the dial, as in on the technology, be 200. It might be the 190 or the 180 and be a bit more realistically like the equation that's kind of portrayed to us. We've just got a hello from Sam, so give Sam a wave.
Hi, Sam.
She's probably next door to you. She's filming you.
Yeah. I hope can she send you a little message to say how did Rustick go today?
Oh yeah, come on, Sam. We'll have to invite Sam on next time. I have to send her the link if she's probably sat down with a glass of wine going.
Day one over. It's been a super day here, so hopefully
that's nice.
Had great walking.
Good. Yeah, we've had a bit of rain.
Yeah, I think it's good fun. The training has started, and but we've got a long way to go. And folk don't want to get depressed about it or find it's too hard or something like that. Just be patient. Fitness will improve if they follow the plan, even if they're only doing 4 of the sessions rather than 5 of the sessions. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Sam's just said excellent, thanks. So that's great. That's gone well for Sam. But yes, totally agree. I'm very much of that. I like to aim for perfection, but it's about the progression, about the continuation, and not necessarily looking at the schedule and going, I'm never going to be able to do that, and then putting yourself in the wrong mental state. It's get yourself going, be nice and relaxed. Everything for me is about getting into the flow, getting going, and then seeing where those incremental improvements and changes can be for your own individual benefits. Whether that's to do with, like, say, pole length, or whether it's to do with your posture, the way you hold your head, the way that you're breathing, the way that you kind of got that tension as you start to increase the pace, all those little things over this 20 weeks. It's like you say, it's a massive length of time that if you commit to the sessions or a lot of the sessions, you're going to be constantly getting that kind of feedback on, we could just tweak it here a little bit. We could just relax here a little bit. We could just improve this, that, and the other. And over that time, that, like you said, that muscle memory and that kind of habit of the way that we hold ourselves and do things will start to change and form and shape itself so that everyone is just feeling more relaxed, better, more in flow, and actually you do the activity, the longer walks, and they don't feel as demanding and challenging. That, like Rob said yesterday, you get to the end and you've got a smile on your face that you've achieved it because you've got the training and the foundation behind you, and that's why you got to the end and enjoyed it.
I think we also, one other thing I learned a while ago at my own cost really was I didn't realize how much of an impact training was having on my partner, my wife, and the kids. And I think it's something that we sometimes forget with our own enthusiasm to sort of get out there and train. And it's only half an hour, but so what? Well, that's not taking out much time. But sometimes when you look at it, it's half an hour prepping and faffing about before you get out there, and then you drive to somewhere, and then you do your half-hour exercise, then you drive back, and then you think, I'm pretty hot, I'm going to go and have a shower. So you have a shower, and then you come down and you think, God, where's that 3 hours gone for that 30 minutes?
Yeah.
It's not usually that bad. But I think part of the journey for all of us on this is sort of getting used to and finding the right mix and balance of training through the week. And if 5 days is right, or whether you want to double up on one day, but certainly making sure that we have the proper rest days. And rest days to me doesn't mean going for a walk because that's madness. You're just going to tire yourself out.
Yeah. And all we can really do is real solid kind of comment there from experience. We need to be sharing that and talking about those things as often as possible, just to kind of reinforce and remind people and ourselves about all of that, that, it's not just us and there are other people, and, it's not the be all and end all to do this, but we are trying to help and encourage everyone, if they want to do it, to get there in the best shape and with the least amount of risk or chance of injury or inability to complete it or inability to do it with enjoyment.
Yeah. I mean, the prize is that day when you do the long distance walk and you're on top of the world because you can do it and you're feeling really strong and you've got no worries and you can just enjoy the countryside and be able to walk at a comfortable pace for you, knowing you're going to get to the end because you've done the work, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, good call, Colin. Excellent. So we've been on 25 minutes again. The time just flies by. There's another 30 minutes or 3 hours gone. So do you have anything else you want to share today, or any question for me?
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm curious is I've sort of got into buying quite a number of different pairs of walking shoes. So I've got shoes for mud, shoes for trails, shoes for wet, and sort of higher hills and all the rest of it. I'm going through that phase, and I'm interested to know whether you've done the same. Which are my favorite shoes for what conditions? And, throwing away the old, not throwing away, I've got really good mountain walking boots, but they're so stiff. They're not for Nordic walking. And so I've got lighter and lighter and lighter shoes. And I think this period in the next few weeks is sort of curious, to explore what kit that we wear and what works for longer distance walking. Is a lighter shoe better than a heavier shoe? What's our experience? So that at this time when we're doing gentler training, we're thinking about stuff like what's the best shoes to be wearing to cover the distance. What do you use?
Great question. What I'm going to suggest is that we do another call, maybe next week or the week after, and we'll get more heads on screen, and we're almost like a little panel discussion with instructors who have a level of experience of doing that. I have different experience of different types of shoes, but I'll save it till then, and I think that'll be probably a good way to just individually share that, and that'll give a lot of information to a lot of people then.
Yeah, because I think it's sometimes we just take it for granted that we all, but I'd like to listen to others and see what their views are. I've got some things to share. Become a bit of a shoe addict. I don't know whether that was.
Yeah. Well, Sam's written a comment. I have shoes for lots of different terrain. And then another couple of comments. Thanks. We'll take on the advice offered, and I would love to know best shoes for distance. So we've had Jill and Helen and Ron and June. Good luck to both of us and our team. So a lot of comments today, a lot of people watching. Appreciate that. And we'll come back to you in maybe next week or the week after with Colin and some more faces, and we'll talk shoes. Yeah?
Brilliant.
Nice.
And then we can go on to polls. We can have a long discussion about the best polls.
Okay. Let's do shoes first.
Shoes first. Perfect.
Great. Colin, thank you very much for sharing your time with me and with everyone else. And for everyone who watched or is watching on playback, then hope we've shared some nuggets of information and you've gained something from this, and really appreciate you being part of the challenge, the group, and your endeavour to improve your health and your fitness. So well done.
Yeah, enjoy. Absolutely.
Smashing.
All right.
Goodbye.
Okay. See you.